We're going to go back to David Schuman. Maybe he has a little bit more insight as to what is going on with these protesters, if they actually came from the 3rd Precinct. Hi, David. We just got a shot from Sky 4, and it looks like there are protesters going on Hiawatha, and I wasn't sure if you're over there where the protesters are, if you noticed any movement or know where they're heading.
Yeah, we passed those protesters when we were heading over here. They were here earlier. We're outside the 3rd Precinct. We actually just stepped away from the crowd because we noticed that in the parking lot of Target, something is going on. I see flames, there's a lot of smoke, and people are starting to get really, hyped up about whatever's going on. There's a fire that's been set. I mean, this Target, we saw all the video of everything that's happened here the last, day or two, and the alarm is going off inside there. Sprinklers were going off before. We saw earlier this afternoon, people were still inside carrying merchandise out. And now you can see there appears to be a fire that's been started in the parking lot. And if we go to the right here, you can see the crowd that has been outside the precinct standing here, cell phones out. You can get a sense of how large this crowd is here outside the 3rd Precinct. I mean, we were here earlier and there were officers that came into the middle of the crowd. They were in riot gear, gas masks. They used flashbangs, rubber bullets on the crowd, and then they used tear gas as they drove away. Things got very confrontational. And after that happened, things were quiet for a long time, and now it appears that things are starting to pick up again. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with this fire, but there are speakers on the microphone. This has been a mostly peaceful gathering. We've been here much of the afternoon. We spoke to one man. He was, a little shaken up after what happened with the officers. I think we have some sound from him. We talked to him before the incident. He was talking about it was another flare-up of hostility that has resulted from all of this.
I already get so upset seeing police brutality videos all the time, but when it's that close to home, it's literally 3 blocks away from my house. I've never seen anything like that. I was at CUP 5 minutes before it happened. I seen George on top of his car before they came and threw him down.
So what happened earlier was it appeared the officers were making their way into the middle of the protest to get someone out who may have been hurt, but before they could really make any progress there, people were throwing rocks and eggs at them and their vehicles. I heard several protesters yelling into the crowd to stop throwing things, but it didn't do much good. They were trying to cool tensions between the two groups. And before all this happened, I mean, things have really, like I said, been peaceful out here. People were playing music. There were people grilling sausages, handing out water bottles and ice pops. This was a communal thing.
Going on over here? We got real shit going on over here. Point the camera over here.
Thank you, sir. We're talking about it all. And this has been a mostly peaceful gathering, and now we're gonna go back. This car is on fire in the parking lot. People are gathering around it, and other people are still urging us to show. Oh, something just blew off of it. The crowd is starting to back up, it looks like. And this whole time that we've been out here, we really haven't seen many officers. I mean, there were a few standing outside the precinct and on the roof earlier, but right now, I mean, I'm looking around, I don't see a single officer.
David,
and there is a car on fire in this Target parking lot.
We actually do have a Sky 4 right now. The chopper is looking over, and we do see this this car that has been that is on fire, that is blazing. Is that from protesters you were saying? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you a little earlier. David, are you still there?
Yeah, so this was a peaceful protest earlier this afternoon, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I was saying that this was a peaceful protest this afternoon. Everything was really going smoothly. People have their signs, and there was music playing and speakers on the microphone, but then it appeared somebody must have gotten injured at some point, and officers rushed in riot gear and gas masks, and that's when the tension picked up, because the people did not like seeing the police officers rush in with their lights blaring, and they were throwing rocks at the officers and bottles of soda and water, and the officers didn't take very kindly to that. And so the tension picked up, and they ended up deploying tear gas. They threw flashbangs, and then they left, and the whole thing probably lasted about 10 minutes or so. Me and my photographer, Max, we actually got a little bit of the tear gas because it is a very windy day out here. We were safely far back, or so we thought, but the tear gas that they threw around their vehicles right before they drove away blew in our direction, and that is not a very pleasant feeling, I will tell you that. A lot of people got it, and then things settled down after that, and now, you know, the crowd, though, is still so large. I mean, it's actually bigger now than it was a few hours ago, and we'll probably continue to see more people as the sun begins to go down here. So yeah, the smoke is still blowing. I know you were looking at it from the chopper, this car in the Target parking lot, but the Target was still being looted this afternoon when we were here before.
David, I know that you said that the crowd is growing bigger. Is the police presence growing any bigger there? Because that's right over there by the 3rd precinct.
This whole time we've been here, I have not seen any officers. I'm looking around right now, and there really are very few. Before, the most I saw were 6 standing next to the precinct, and then there were 2 on top of the roof. But right now, I really do not see any, and I don't know. I mean, it could be that they're staying away because they don't want to flame up tensions with this crowd who are very hostile to any officers that they see.
Be careful out there, David. So once again, as we can see,